What are some cool holiday traditions you have? What are your thoughts on the year? What are just some ideas you want to get off your chest? Just kind of let it all out. This is our time to just kind of share our thoughts. You can say something about the show if you want, something you like, something you don't like. I'm not, I'm fine with criticism. You can say whatever you want. I'll tell you some cool holiday traditions I have that I'm going to be doing on Christmas Eve. So I was raised Italian-American, or that's my background, and my family's Catholic. One of the very cool things that background does, Italian-American Catholic, is the Feast of the Seven Fishes on Christmas Eve. So, first of all, I did point out the American part. I didn't find this out until recently. It's not a thing over in Italy. For years, I thought it was. It's not. Like my Italian family knew what it was because we told them. But other friends of mine in Italy that are like Italian from Italy, they're like, yeah, we don't know what that is. I didn't know that. So it is an Italian-American thing. It kind of became like, I think it can be traced back to when you would eat fish on Fridays, and which can be traced back to a deal the Pope made with the industry, actually. There's really no, like, religious connotation behind it. But it became a Christmas Eve tradition. You eat 7 fish, and it's supposed to represent the 7 sacraments. And I could Google it right now, but I don't feel like it. I don't even remember what all the 7 sacraments are. It's not important. I don't practice. I just remember the Feast of the Seven Fishes was a fuck of an awesome meal. And it's a tradition that I have continued in my life. Sometimes when I wouldn't be home for the holidays with my family in Pennsylvania, I would just kind of do my own version of it. And some of you guys know Pasta, my former roommate, although I still hang out at that house a lot, and we're still buddies. Me and him both have a similar background. He grew up in he grew up in Brooklyn and Florida. I grew up in Pennsylvania. We both come from Italian-American backgrounds, so it was something he grew up with as well. So last year, we did our own 7-fish meal, and it was a hell of an amazing meal. And nobody that was there knew what it was, like all of our friends. So it was really special. We introduced something that we grew up with to a bunch of our friends that were in town for the holidays. So it was just a really special meal, and it was really fun. We're doing that again this year. I make a mean basil fried rice with seafood, like a seafood basil fried rice. I've been working on it for years. Still have a long way to go. But it's a dish I'm proud of. I'm going to be making that. I'm also going to be making my smoked salmon and peas my smoked salmon and peas linguine. Good linguine dish. Technically, it breaks the rules because there's a lot of cheese in it, and cheese and fish, that's not something you do over in Italy. So it's a bit of a cross-cultural dish, I guess, although basil fried rice is too. That's actually a Thai dish. So it's a little all over the place, but it's a fun dish. I really like making it. I'm going to be making those 2 things. I'm making myself hungry, and that's kind of my main thing. Let me see what you guys do. So that's my thing. Christmas Eve, that's my thing. Christmas Day, I'm probably going to go to a movie. I go see my family for Thanksgiving and not for Christmas because it's just way easier to travel from Los Angeles on Thanksgiving versus Christmas, or the winter holiday, if you will. And my brother-in-law's family is Jewish, and so we're going to go over there for some Hanukkah celebrations and end-of-year celebrations closer to New Year's. They're having a thing. My sister and her fiance, technically he's not my brother-in-law yet, but they're going to come down, and we're all going to do something there too. So that's my thing. And LA is really fun this time of year because the traffic doesn't suck as much. The traffic, you get around town. When I first moved to town, I'll share this, and then we'll go to what you guys do, and then we have to talk about the news. When I first got to town, one of the things I did on the side, I was a pet sitter. Dealing with the animals was awesome, dealing with the people and the traffic was not awesome. So, over the holidays, you're incredibly busy because everyone's leaving town and they need their animals taken care of. What's cool about that is, A, the money. B, you can get around town so fast. I would just zip all around Los Angeles, feeding cats, walking dogs, doing whatever I needed to do, staying at somebody's house sitting for them. And it was just like, whoa, zoom. I was like, holy shit, this is how, it almost makes you feel like Los Angeles is smaller than you realize, which everywhere is, right? But, man, I just zipped all around town. And that's the only time of year you can pull that off in the Los Angeles area. That's the only time of year. So, anyway, it's kind of cool this time of year here in LA. So let me see what you guys do. Pat says, my mom used to leave books under our pillows on Christmas Eve, and we were supposed to read and stay in bed until she was ready. That's kind of cool, actually. Were the books like presents? Like, were they new books? That was like one of your gifts? You know what? My dad actually threw shade at me for buying books so much. And I've bought that dude some really good books over the years. Like I'll look at his bookshelf and I'm like, man, he's got some good. And then I'm like, oh, I bought like half of these. I've just gotten him some really cool books, and he kind of threw shade at me for always buying books and being so predictable, which is fair. So I didn't get him a book this year. But yeah, I gave my mom her birthday present in November because her birthday is right around the Thanksgiving holiday. So I gave her a birthday present, and my dad was like, oh man, bet it's a book. And I was like, oh man, throwing shade at I bought some great books for you over the years. But, so I realized I had to mix it up a little bit. So I did. Nobody got a book this year from me. Mostly because of my fiance giving her ideas and helping. So yeah, what else do you guys do? Order of Chaos says, books are great. Chris says, I skip my dad's family gathering because they're incredibly boring and sheltered and don't like talking to me. My mom's family gathering is fun, but half of them leave to get drunk pretty quickly. Sounds like you got a nice mix. Elephants on Coke, which, by the way, thanks for the shout-out for the Vandals. We'll be talking holiday music on Monday. But the Vandals, Oi to the World, brilliant. One of my favorites as well. I bought my dad Censored 2019. He's a left liberal who hates imperialism, but he watches CNN and Mad Owl. Maybe I'll turn him eventually. Keep trying, Elephants on Coke. Mr. Gone, we open most presents on Christmas Eve. On the day, meet with family for dinner at either of my two aunts' houses. Good times. DC, we'll be watching screeners for Christmas. That's awesome. Watson says, was your dad throwing shade or proving how well he knows his son? It was playful shade, Watson. It wasn't malicious shade. It was fun, playful shade. But shade nonetheless. Yeah. I wait until last minute and buy as many gift cards as possible. Omar, I did a lot of that too. But I had some creative things, mainly because of my fiance. She was like, we should do it. I'm like, that's a great idea. I never would have thought that on my own in a million years. And my sister was like, oh, do you want to go in on something for mom and dad? I'm like, I already got mom and dad stuff. And she's like, wow, you're so ahead of it. This was like a little bit ago. And I'm like, well, come on, my fiance gets all the credit. And she's like, oh, I know. But still, it's like, fair enough. All right. Order of Chaos. This year we're doing board games. Me and my family back in the day, we would always play poker, which is kind of weird. We would always play cards for like nickel bets, which was fun. We'll be having, Voodoo Baby says, we'll be having my wife's giant Mexican family over for Christmas, which is awesome. But say goodbye to privacy for 48 hours. Gonna have to smoke bowls in the car outside. Voodoo Baby, you know what you should do? It's a big-ass family. Via your words, you're saying it's a big family. I bet a lot of them are 420 friendly, and you don't even realize that. So what I want you to do this year, offer it in the middle of the freaking room. Just do it. Just say, I'm smoking pot. Who's in? It's Christmas. Or whatever you celebrate, so do it. Just be like, I want you to do that, and then when we come back for the new year, I want you to tell me how it went. Just be like, hey, hey, I got this. Just like it's normal. Just, and I know you're probably thinking, oh, some of them are very religious. Yeah, hey, it's a plant. God put it on earth, right? It's a plant. God put it there. Why would he put it there if he didn't want you to use it? Voodoo baby, LMAO, laugh my ass off. Her parents and grandma would shit their pants. Let them shit their pants. It's the holidays. When someone shits their pants, it's officially a party. Just do it. Be like, hey, I'm gonna, yeah. You might be surprised. Those parents and grandparents have been around herb longer than you've been alive. And I know that because you describe them as parents and grandparents. Just do it. I've done it before. I actually have. I just was like, hey, we're going to make these brownies and they're going to have pot in them. And you'd be surprised. Pretty much everyone was down except for the people we didn't tell. One of my aunts really wanted one and we had to convince her that they went bad. She didn't know they were pot brownies. Or she did and didn't want the rest of us to know. Voodoo baby, you're doing it. I love that. Daniel says, it's a plant. Let them shit. Last 20 years, I spend my Christmas alone on the internet. Pat, there's nothing wrong with that. I've never spent like a major holiday alone, but I know people that do by choice, and they actually say it's pretty cool. I know this guy, and it's not that he doesn't have family. It's just he lives far away from them. And I don't really know him. He was just a cab driver for me once. But it was like right after the holidays. I was traveling. I was on the road, and I had to take, I think, a cab to the airport. And that came up. Holidays came up, and I was like, what did you do? He's like, dude, every year I just spend it by myself. And I listen to good music, and I call friends and family, and I catch up with them when they have a few minutes. And I have a couple good, I think cognac was a drink that this gentleman liked. This was years ago, I can't remember for sure, but he just enjoys his life, and he's like, dude, I just love it that way. I don't deal with any traffic. And so it's nothing wrong with that. I've spent birthdays alone before. And I don't mind it, although, when my family would call and ask me what I was doing, so they would be like, Watson, I told you, Ron, at the dojo I was going out to vape, hoping you'd join in. Well, hey, next dojo is December 26th, and you are on the guest list, Watson, so see you there, and we will make that happen. LA friends, next dojo, December 26th, and it's the holidays. It's our holiday show. It's going to be fun. If you're listening to this, you're on the guest list. You get it. I hope you guys all have a wonderful holiday. We'll be back Monday. This isn't our last stream. So Monday we'll continue this conversation. But I wanted to know some of your guys' traditions, some of the things you do. Some of you mentioned you have tacos. Some of you mentioned you get drunk. Some of you guys mentioned you just kind of spend it alone, play guitar, do your thing, and maybe give some people a phone call. What else are you going to do? Yeah. So thank you guys for sharing that. It was really cool to hear what you like to do.
Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and make it our own. Get your news on with Ron.